I've been asked a question about retargeting in Maya, and to show you what the question was about, let me first explain you the basic steps of retargeting in Maya. This is Maya 2018. I've loaded a character from the examples from the content browser and did a quick rig to give this character this basic rig here so that I can, I could start now doing some keyframe animation, but I want to do retargeting. Now, to do retargeting, I need some source here for the character. Or to be precise here, when I go into the Human IK panel, which is this icon up here, that's the Human IK panel. You see that this character here has, or this, rig has a so-called character node. This character node contains information about what is where on the character. So for example, the elbow node is this one here. And you can not only select these objects here, you can also define what the elbow is. So in this example here, I could say, okay, if there's an extra bone in here, for example, in the lower arm, a twist bone or a twist joint, then I could set this up so that the system knows what the, how the arm is structured. And when we do retargeting, it knows where all the different rotations and transformations would go. Okay, that is the purpose of this whole character thing. This, we call this characterization. So sometimes, or most of the time, when you import something, a Human IK motion, like from the content browser, let's go into animation and go in motion graphics and grab some animation. So normally when you go there, you will only find this document here, a readme mocap.txt. You can go into this folder and then read this document. It will tell you where the examples are, where you can download these examples, and then you get this folder here with some motion capture examples. You can also set this panel here, or set the character to none. This will show you, give you this overview here and some functions to create a character definition, for example. It will also allow you to get the Human IK and mocap examples online, which will then open a browser, which will immediately download this file here from the creative market of Autodesk. So that's the fastest way actually to get it. So I got it already and I installed the whole thing. So in my examples here, I can click on this one, go into mocap examples, and I have these, the cartwheel, the dancer, and some other examples. We will touch that a little bit later. So as a first example, I'm going to grab the dancer here and drop it into my scene. That is a very simple example because the dancer has a proper setup. So the dancer, just to show you, is animated, is dancing around. That's clearly motion capture, and we want to feed this animation into this character. Now the structure of the two is different, as you can see. For example, this character here has an extra joint for the hand, and this one does not. This one has an extra joint for the foot, and this one does not. So the retargeting system has to do some things to make sure these two match. But it's still very simple. So here I choose the quick rig character that I've set up before. And as a source, I say I don't want a control rig, which is currently the source. I want this dancer motion to feed into my character. And when I do that, you see immediately my character gets into that position, right? And when I control 1, I see just my character, and you see the character is dancing. Everything's fine. So that is the fast and easy way if there is a character already, or if it is a characterized source that you can use with this menu here. But what happens if your skeleton, your animated skeleton, doesn't show up here? You have to characterize it yourself. And that works like this. I've loaded the character again, so this initial skeleton or the quick rig that I've built, and I will open the content browser again and go into this folder here, into the mail folder. There are 2 folders in there, and there we have some jogging motion, some running motion, and all kinds of different behaviors. So let me get some jogging and drop it into my scene. The reason why there is no icons here is the fact that nobody made them. So if you want icons for all these examples, you can make them yourself and use them here. So now let's have a look at the scene. Here's the character that I just imported, and you see, this is not a nice example. It's just a just a skeleton, and we can actually let him jog a little bit. You see, after a while of a stance pose, the character starts jogging. That's what they captured here. Okay, so if I want to retarget now, I'm going to take my quick character, but there's nothing in my list of source characters. So this one here, this motion capture example is not characterized. So nobody told the system what the upper legs are, the lower legs, etc. We have to do that now. And for that, I will select the root node of that character and hide all the rest. And we have to do some things. So first of all, the orientation of the character is wrong. It needs to face down in the Z direction. So this one here is facing positive X, which is in some systems may make sense, but here it doesn't make any sense. So we have to change that. In the channel box, I'm going to type in a rotation of minus 90 degrees so that the character is mainly facing into the Z direction. You see that it's not working completely. We can make it a little bit better by doing that manually so that the arms are mainly parallel to the x-axis. That's what the system requires. And then in the human IK, I go to none again to get this menu here back, and I'll create a character definition, because that's what we want to do now. We want to define this character and tell the system what is what. So we start with the root here. I'll select the root and right mouse button on this reference node here and assign selected bone. This turns green now, so the system knows now what the parts or what the reference is. And when I move this around here, then the system knows, okay, this is the reference animation. Now, when I do the other parts, it is it's a matter of a few minutes, but you can save presets or ready-made sets of definitions here in these templates. So it is possible to have your own entry here in these templates and to say, okay, I'm going to load this again. Once you have done that, you should save it. So I have not yet saved it, but I'm going to show you how the whole setup works. So to define these bones here, you first double click on one of these. So I double click on the hips here, and then you select the hip. So that's the workflow. So you select the upper arm and select the upper arm here facing the character. So we are facing the character here and we're facing the character here. It sets up both sides of the character because we have this button on, the mirroring for the joints. So it is at least able to find the mirrored part. So we only have to set up one side of the whole character. So I do this for the whole character. And now the legs also, double click, and the foot. And we, here is one extra bone, which my character or the monster character that I'm trying to set up does not have. But it doesn't matter. I can, the system will automatically skip it. So we don't have any hands here. We do have spine bones. So I double click on the spine here, select the first spine joint, and then I can open this one up here and I find more spine joints. So I can define this one here, double click, and this one here, double click, and this one here. So that is the chest. And then double click on the head. This will be the head, and below the head you will find a whole lot of neck joints. We only have one neck joint here. And I think that's it already. So the system complains about the right arm and the left arm don't seem to be parallel. They are not enough parallel, but with the human stance pose, that's quite normal. So we have to live with that. We will see in a moment where that leads, so what the consequences are. But for now, we can say, okay, this is enough definition for now. And now I'm going to lock this. So I'll lock the skeleton definition. The system knows now what the parts are, and it has registered all the rotations that are there and knows, okay, coming from here, I have to rotate so and so. I don't need any controls. I could now create a human arcade rig, but I don't need that. All I needed was this character definition here for my list. So I could rename this character definition, for example, to jogging character, so that I will find it later. And now here in the list, I'll select the quick rig character, maybe make it visible first. So here's my quick rig character. For my jogging character, I can remove this rotation that I had here, 0 degrees. So it's jogging in the other direction again. And then I'm going to tell my character, my quick rig character, hey, your source is now the jogging character. And you see it jumps into the correct position. I can now go and, set my camera here and hit play, and you see after a while of stance pose, the arms fall down and the character starts to jog. The big character starts to jog with its own stepping length, so it's going to be much faster than the small character. There's a lot of settings that you can do with retargeting. I just wanted to show you how you can create your own character, or how you make a character for a skeleton that doesn't have one yet. I hope this was helpful.